All right, so today we're gonna do the Leetcode questions number 238, product of array except self. This is a medium questions on Leetcode. All right, then let's get into it. All right. Given an integer array nums, return an array answer such that answer at the index I is equal to the product of all the elements of nums except nums at the index I. All right. The product of any prefix or suffix of nums is guaranteed to fit in a 32-bit integer. You must write an algorithm that runs in the big O of n time and without using the division operations. All right. So here, this question is a little bit tricky. I don't like these questions, and I put a dislike here, as you can see here, because I think for these questions, right, if you have never seen the solution before, then you probably can't think about the answers at all. All right, anyway, so it's here, like to explain to you what the question is trying to ask is that here we have the inputs, right, like this. All right, so the question is asking to give an output that is a product of array except self. For example, here for the index number 1 here, you need to multiply all the numbers except 1. All right, so in this case, it's going to be 2 times 3 is 6, 6 times 4 is 24, right? And then the second index is going to be 1 times 3 times 4 except 2. So it's going to be 3, 4, it's going to be 12. And here it's going to be 1 times 2 and 2 times 4. It's going to be 8. All right. And for the last one, it has to be 6, right? Because 3 times 2 times 1 is equal to 6 except 4, right? So that's just what the question is trying to ask you. But then how can we do this in the time complexity of O1 of the big O of n, right? So you actually need to know this trick first. All right, let me bring out share this on screen. So basically, you need to know what is postfix and prefix, right? So if you don't know what is this, there's no way you can do these answers. Sorry, I mean questions. So if you take a look at the example that is given to us just now, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The postfix is going to be the postfix means you need to multiply the number before the number of the index. For example, here we're taking from the 0 index here. So the postfix of this index 0 here is going to be 1 because there's no number in front of it, and we're just going to consider it as 1. So the postfix here is going to be 1, right? Oh my god, I think I made a mistake. Here should be prefix, and this should be postfix. Sorry. That should be prefix, and that should be postfix. All right, so we continue on this. Here, the prefix of the index number 1 here is 1 times is 1 equal to 1, right? And the prefix of number 3 here is going to be 2 times 1. It's going to be equal to 2. And the prefix of the last index here is going to be 3 times 2 times 1. It's going to be equal to 6, right? Okay, so that is the prefix. And for the postfix, right, we need to, it's the same, but it is in reverse. So we need to do it from behind. Okay, so the postfix for the number 4 here, right, is going to be equal to 1 because there's no number behind it. Same like in this case, right? So it's going to be 1, and the prefix of index 3 here is going to be 4, right? Because 4 times 1 will be equal to 1. All right, and the postfix here is going to be 3 times 4 here is equal to 12. And that's going to be the same here because it's going to be 4 times 3 times 2. Here it's going to be 24, right? And then, if you can see here, if you combine the prefix and the postfix, right, we're going to get the product of the array except self. So we're going to get 24 times 1 equal to 24, and 12 times 1 equal to 12, and here it's going to be 8, and that's going to be 6. And that is the answer of what the question is asking for, right? It's so tricky. You just need to know this trick to know this question, and if you don't know this trick, and then you'll be just fail the interview. All right, so now that we understand the solution, let's go to the coding part. Okay, so here we go. All right, so okay, I think I lost my. Yeah, okay, all right, here. Somebody text me. Anyway, okay, how should we start? All right, so we need to start from creating a rest array. So that's going to be 1, right? So we need to start from 1. I'm going to put times the number of lengths of nums here. So we're going to get an array of this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4. Sorry, it's going to be 4, right? Okay. And once we have that, we need to use the for loops to iterate the number for num in nums, right? And we no, sorry, I think that is the wrong type of for loops that we need to use. We actually need to use a for I in range here, and you're gonna see the reason why. Because all right, so it has to be starting from the index number 1, right? Because the 0 index is still going to be number 1 for the prefix. So it's going to start from 1, and here it's going to until the end of the array. So it's going to be 4 len num. So it's all right, and then it's going to increment by 1. All right. So the first one is that res I will be equal to res I minus 1, right? Because we need to multiply the result, the 0 index of the result multiplied by the first index of nums. That's going to be I minus 1, right? Why do we need to make I minus 1 here? Because we're starting from the first index. Well, we're going to start from index number 1, but here we need to start from the index number 0. And once this loop is finished, right, this is going to be our prefix that I showed just now on the screen. And once we do that, we need to continue with the postfix, right? The postfix, I'll put it as a 1 first, and then we need to run the for loop again. But remember this time, we need to run it from the behind. So length nums, right? So that's going to be from the index number 4, right? So that's going to be from index number 4. No, it has to be -1. So yeah, because Python is exclusive, so it has to be len num -1. So it's going to start from index number 3, and that's going to be until 0, and it has to be -1. All right, and here here we go. And here we need to start from res I, right? And it needs to get updated by the prefix. And then the prefix, and then later on, you need to update the prefix by multiply it with the nums here, right? So I think that should return the answer. So that's it. We should be able to get the results, right? Let's try if I get the correct answer. Okay, what is wrong with this? Oh, okay, so I made a spelling mistake here. So it has to be postfix. And here it also has to be postfix. Okay. Okay, this is spelling mistake. Okay, name nums is not defined. Okay, sorry. It has to be nums with S. Okay, one case pass. Nums on the output. Okay, something is missing here. Definitely has something to do with the for loops, and I can see now the problem here is 0 is not -1. And this time she should give me the right answers. There you go. All right, thank you for watching today. All right, see you next time. Oh, by the way, I think I need to say this first. Like, so this is a time complexity of here, these for loops here, the time complexity is going to be the big O of n. And here, the time complexity here is going to be the big O of m, right? And that is going to be the time, so that's going to give me the time complexity of the big O of n, and the space complexity of O of n2, because this one is O of n. All right, so okay, that's it.